Before we dive into this episode, check out the podcast notes to book an appointment with an AIB mortgage advisor. Welcome to Brendan Courtney's My First Home with AIB, the podcast where we celebrate the joy, chaos and triumph of buying your first home. Each week I sit down with guests who share their journeys to home ownership, from saving every spare cent to the day they finally get their keys. These stories will give you hope that your dreams can also come true. Welcome to Brendan Courtney's My First Home with AIB. My guest this week is TV presenter and digital creator Katja Mia. As well as being one of the regular co-hosts of the 6 o'clock show, Katja is also one of the newest additions to the 2FM weekend roster. Not yet a homeowner, in this conversation, Katja talks to me about what it's been like preparing to find her forever home with her fiancé Dara. She tells us how her time working in banking has prepared her for the first-time buyer journey and offers hope to all freelancers out there. Katja.
Hello.
Hello.
It's great to see you.
Great to see you. It's me, Uncle Husband.
Yes, my favourite uncle. My favourite telly uncle.
Telly Uncle Funkle. Tell me this. Your story's a little different in that you're on the journey to try and buy a home. It's on the, what did you say? It's on the agenda.
Yeah, I don't own a home yet.
Okay.
Don't have a home,
Yeah.
but it's definitely on the agenda. And it's something that we're starting to get a little bit more aggressive about in the way where we're actually putting plans in place now.
So you've had an incredible 24 months professionally. Like you really have. You've gone from strength to strength to strength. And first of all, as a presenter for 30 years nearly, you are really good at what you do. Like I love watching you. So
that means a lot coming from you.
Thank you. But
because I used to watch you a lot.
Oh.
And I think I wouldn't say I'm professionally trained, but I am a student.
Nobody is.
I'm a student of telly.
No,
I watched
yeah.
so much telly
Yeah.
growing up,
Yeah.
and I learned from the best.
People
that means a lot.
People think that you were somebody and went, you are going to be, no.
Doesn't happen like that. It's pure luck.
Yeah. Luck and timing.
Yeah.
And being a little bit prepared maybe to have something nice.
A little bit of work in between.
Yeah. So just, how did you start in telly?
Well, I had... Let me see. It was kind of COVID times. I feel like everyone's story kind of starts like this.
I feel it was longer.
No, it was. So I was actually working in financial services from 2018 up until 2021.
Go back a step. What did you study?
I studied finance and economics.
So did I.
No way.
Yes, I studied accountancy and economics.
That is mad. Look at that parallel. And it's so funny, like I didn't...
It'll stand to you.
Yeah, I mean, it helps in the long run, but genuinely, I believe I picked that degree just because my parents wanted me to get like a good job or something. Like I was definitely, there was no deep love for finance and accounting. I'm just going to put it
Were you good at it in
there.
school though?
I was good at economics.
So was I.
Yeah, I
liked
enjoyed the little demand and supply graphs with the pencils and all that. So I said, look, it's my favourite subject, so I'll do
It was my favourite,
a course in it, you know. I also loved like music and I did a lot of drama and stuff, but like there was no way I was doing a course in like media or something. I just didn't think that far. So I ended up doing a degree in that for 4 years, and then I got my first job in a bank. I was a depository analyst, so I worked in financial services.
Sounds like a nursing
handling
job.
funds. I know it does. I mean, there really wasn't that much to it.
What was it? What was that job?
Well, I suppose it was like I worked in funds, and you kind of like, I don't know, check through their accounts and you would highlight any expenses, I suppose, that went over a certain threshold, and you were doing NAVs, which were net asset value Excel spreadsheets. Like it's actually all it's all lost, guys. It's all lost. I haven't worked there in years, but it was a lot of Excel spreadsheets. Just working on the computer. I used to have my earphones in. I wasn't very sociable. I just did my job and then clocked out at 5 o'clock. Yeah. So I wouldn't say there was a love for it, but it was a good job to do, especially in my early 20s. So then when COVID came, I started working from home. I had actually quit. I left the job because I got hired in another bank, and there was just that period of time where you are kind of doing the onboarding process and you're at home. So that was the period of time where I started social media. Well, I always had an Instagram page, but I just started like using it more, and I chat on it more and stuff like that, and pretend I had like more than 10 people listening to me. The delusion was real. But I think the more time we had on our hands around that time,
of course.
I guess I started tapping into makeup tutorials, hair tutorials. I was an avid watcher of YouTube, loved the OG YouTubers like Patricia Bright, Jackie Aina, Makeup by Shayla, like anyone from that YouTube era, like as a teenager, like we were obsessed. So I guess like through their inspiration, I just started doing like random tutorials, throwing whatever at a wall and just see what would stick. And then I suppose presenting kind of fell on me. Like there was someone who was watching my stories who was arranging a bit of a online music show and needed a co-host. And she was like to me, I see you blabbing away on your stories. I really like your personality. Do you want to come and just work for a day?
That's amazing.
And it was a crazy coincidence. And I said, look, I've never done this before, but obviously grew up watching E! News, RT2, TV3.
You knew what it was.
I knew what it was. So I did it. It was like a 10-hour day, but it felt like 10 minutes because I had the time of my life. And I was like, if I could make this a job, I'm all over it. So that's when I just started making show reels, entering competitions, just doing anything. Anyone who would listen to me, I was like, please watch my show reel.
When a light went on and you knew, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, that was it. And eventually, like, I found an agent, Virgin Media. I was on their radar, came in for an audition, and the rest is history. Yeah, it all started rolling around 2022, I want to say.
I feel like it's much longer. Wow.
Yeah. Like my very first, I was signed to a modeling agency. I was a curve model, as they were calling it. And I actually modeled on Ireland AM before I ever worked on Ireland AM. So it was gas. So the February of 2022, I was modeling on Ireland AM. And I remember Elaine was presenting it. And then a few months later, I filled in for Murray O'Connell for the daytime Ireland AM for Monday to Thursday shows. And after that, I was offered a contract. Now, this was months of doing my 5 minutes contributing, talking about Love Island, talking about pop culture. Did a lot of that. And I was double jobbing it at the same time. Like, yeah, because at this time, I'd now moved from finance and I was working in social media marketing. So I had a job that was based in the UK. It was like a children's social media marketing company where, so they did like name tags for school uniforms and stuff. So I was kind of doing the Instagram posts and stuff for that. But my boss was Danish and he was based in London and no one really knew about like Irish media there. So I used it to my benefit where I did Ireland AM at like 9 o'clock and then I jump on a work meeting at 10 and no one knew. So until I basically built up a good enough relationship and got offered a contract, then I could finally leave that job. And then I was a full sole trader by December 2022.
Wow. And then you won an IFTA.
An IFTA.
What did you win?
What did I win?
Royal
Royal
Society TV Award.
That's it.
Yeah. I knew you won an award.
Yeah, there was an award there. So I'd won the Breakthrough Award.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was incredible. Like that year was a roller coaster. I'd won the VIP award as well. And I just, everything started happening. Dancing with the Stars happened.
How was that?
It was the most insane journey of my life.
Did you like it?
It was, I loved it, but I didn't realize how hard it was going to be. I loved it for the community. I loved being on a set that big. They're so professional. It's the most glamorous show you'll see on telly. But my God.
Intense.
The dancing, the exercise wasn't for me. But
Really?
I learned a lot about myself because like I got when did I leave? I think it was the quarterfinals. So like I was there for a good while. So you learn about yourself and how you just have to keep on keeping on, even when you really don't want to get out there and go on live telly and shake your ass. Like I just had to tell myself, look, forget about the insecurity. Like I was going through a period of time where I was very insecure about my body. And that's why I think that kind of tainted my Dancing with the Stars experience a little bit. But I think I definitely became so headstrong. I was like, you need to make sure you work through the insecurities and still show up, put a smile on your face because this is an amazing show, an amazing experience. So yeah, like in the end, I genuinely loved it all. And I'm still friends with a lot of the people that I did Dance with the Stars with. Yeah.
So going back now to the finance.
Yeah.
And starting your property journey. So you got engaged. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. Beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So you're a young adult now, paving your way into the grown-up world, right?
I know.
So career's looking good.
Yeah.
We've got that in check for now, right? That's all great. Now you're sorting out your personal life, which is your home.
Yeah.
Does the finance background help?
I'm going to be so honest and say no, because I was never a good saver.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was never a good saver. And I think that is something you have to see in your life to kind of learn and adapt and to be.
Is he a good saver?
He's very frugal and he's a great saver. And he definitely helped me to get on, like to get my stuff together. So I think like growing up, like my earliest memories of saving was probably putting my communion money in the credit union, and my mom told me to do that. But after that, like any cash I had, I'd spend, so, and I've been working since I was 16. I had part-time jobs since I was 16. So I just never had like anything to show for it. But I think a light switched when I turned about 26, 27. And I was like, we already know what the climate is like. It's hard to buy a house these days, especially for, people that are actually, they're on the property ladder for themselves. Like maybe they're single and they don't want to buy in a couple, or if you are in a young couple and you want to get there. So I just knew I had to put my head down. So I started the journey of like even considering getting on the property ladder about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Started saving really, really hard.
2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago. Because
Good for you.
I met with a mortgage advisor.
Did you?
Yeah, I actually did. You proud of me?
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Gold star.
And it was more so, like, this was Dara's doing. He definitely pushed it. But we both met with a mortgage advisor because we knew we wanted to be on the property ladder. So we were almost like, what do we need to do?
AIB's team of advisors are here to help you on your journey to get the keys to your own home. Click the link in the podcast notes to find out more. Who knew that was the right first move? Dara.
I think it was Dara.
And how did he know that? Do you know? Had he heard about it? Is he experienced in it?
No, I think he had heard about it like through our accountant. He had recommended someone, and
Because that is the most important first step.
yeah, I think so. Because like I genuinely didn't know where to start. I'm like, is it just regular savings or not? And especially when you're a sole trader, so you really need to have like 3 years of good accounts. You need to have your deposit, but then you also need to show that you are paying and you can afford your rent, because now we're renting in an apartment. So you need to show that, or you need to show that you can regularly save, so you can show the bank that you can pay your mortgage. So when I learned that, that's when I like started my savings account and got just everything in order.
Was that a light bulb moment for you? Yeah.
100%.
Oh, this is how it works.
Yeah. Because I feel like people don't teach you this.
No.
in
And
school.
knowledge is power, because now you know that, you know what you should
100%.
do, right?
100%. And I'm telling my sisters this, I'm telling my friends this. Like I have a best friend that recently just purchased a house by herself, which was an
Wow.
amazing milestone. We were all celebrating her because it is hard to do.
Really hard.
So I'm asking people for advice now. I think that people are more open about the conversation. I don't know if you find the same thing. Because right now we're all in the same mission. We're on the same journey. We want to help each other out. So
how did she manage?
How did she?
On her own. Well done.
Oh my God. Like, so she was a student for years. She's a PhD student. So I think she just lived well below her means and continued that way because she was a student for so long. She's like, I'm going to ignore that. Now I have a full-time job that's paying really well, and I'm going to save it.
Good for her.
I'm going to eat my noodles or whatever and just save it. And sometimes that's the sacrifices that you got to make.
Yeah.
Like spending, even for me, like it's gone. No spending, no. And like we're very strict with each other. Even date nights, we do a lot of like date nights at home, or like we'll just do like a cheeky cinema date. Like we're not always going out to eat the way we used to like a few years ago. Like, because we know down the line it's going to help and hopefully make that journey a bit easier when we're ready to apply for the mortgage.
You're so right. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
Is it hard?
I hope it works. It is. I mean, it's hard, but I'm in a mindset now where I'm really determined. You know, when
like a dog with a bone.
Yeah, when you feel like, okay, this could maybe happen in a year. Like ideally, we'd love to apply for a mortgage end of next year, or maybe the beginning of 2027, because obviously we're getting married next year. It's just a year of expenses. It's a lot. Yeah. So
you get married next year. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Have you picked your venue? The
yes,
date?
We have.
What's the date?
The venue. We've picked the date. We're getting married September next year, and we're getting married abroad. Yeah. So I'm so excited.
And it's so expensive.
I know. Oh my God, tell me about it. So saving is like, it's my best friend now. All I do is save. I don't spend anymore.
Just talk to your money.
Yeah, just talk to him. I just look at it there.
But I can't touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the reality of life right now.
Well, so you're doing it all at once, but you're happy to wait till after you're married to buy the house.
Well, I think that's what I have to do.
Okay.
I can't afford to get it before the wedding. Like I am happy to wait because we really want to. Like I know people say, oh, like I want to get a house and maybe this is my forever home or whatever, but we just want to. Yeah, we do want to get a home that we see ourselves in for a long time where we can raise kids in and everything. So yeah, like we're just really, it's tunnel vision right now. And after the wedding, I'm just going to lock in and fingers crossed it all works out.
And have you, have you separated the two savings, one wedding, one house, or are you going to use it all and start again?
Yeah, no, I've separated the savings. So what I do, which might...
Because you're good.
I don't know, like this only happened like, I want to say a year and a half ago, where I really, really locked in. So I basically had opened a savings account that I cannot touch. And I have to get like permission to withdraw.
Go into it,
yeah, and that's
like a
just,
deposit account.
Yeah, and that's just too annoying for me that I know I won't tap into it.
Yeah.
So that's what someone like me, anyone that loves spending needs an account like this, especially if you're saving for a mortgage.
Yeah.
Like get a deposit account that you
can't access.
You can't access.
Like don't be keeping it on your apps.
Yeah, I was the president of like taking money out of my savings account and like moving into my current.
Yeah.
If I on a night out or something,
Yeah.
but no, this one there's no way you can do it.
Yeah. So the wedding obviously is very exciting, and that's you're clearly really enjoying the process.
Yeah.
Have you gently looked around at what property might be available, or where you might like to live?
Oh, my favorite thing is to go on daunting.
Oh yeah.
Like we just go in it for fun, for the fantasy
Property
of it.
porn.
Yeah.
like literally.
That's
Ooh,
literally
yeah.
it. So me and Dara, sometimes like I'll just find a house on daft.ie and like send it on his WhatsApp, and like I'll send like a list of 10 and be like, God, give me a minute. So we'd sit down and look through houses and just like, oh, I wonder how much that one is. And like, but now what I've noticed is that it's just so much more expensive. Like I think back in the day, if you had 300 grand,
you could get something.
You could get something really like a family home. You get 3-bedroom, but it's just, I think, especially if you want to live in Dublin, it's just not the case. And it's now opened a lot of conversations between like me and my parents about their journey to get on the property ladder, because they obviously, as immigrants, they got on the property ladder much later in life. I want to say my mom, she's about 62 now, and she got on the property ladder 20 years ago, so like in her early 40s.
Wow.
Yeah,
with kids and everything,
with 4 kids.
Good for them.
Yeah, so I really saw by her like how hard she saved.
Did she save like a
my God,
demon?
Absolutely. And like she worked in like a supermarket. It wasn't like she was earning loads of money, but she was just so good at her saving, and she made sacrifices. So yeah, like you can't go on holidays and you can't go on all these date nights when you have that kind of tunnel vision. You gotta.
Does she love her home?
She loves it. I'm so glad like I got to see that process as a young kid as well. And they're so open about that conversation as well. But I think it definitely was much easier, I want to say.
Well, it was more affordable.
It was more affordable, not easier.
So how long ago we're talking like 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
That's when I bought my apartment in Dublin on the Quays, and it was
how long did the process take overall?
I bought my apartment from Nama.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from the
what a throwback.
Asset management. Yeah, so it had been repossessed by the government from some vulture fund or some bank had crashed. So it was very complex. It took a year to buy it, even though I paid my deposit, had my mortgage, and I was nearly pulling out. And then the Royal Bank of Scotland had a claim on it, and they were to get paid out. And so I actually was like, I'm going to ring Joe Duffy. I was like, you're stopping me buying a home. And the bank then stepped up, and I got it in the end. But it was a
journey.
Well, it was 175,000, and it's 1,000 square feet penthouse.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So that if that crash hadn't happened, someone like me wouldn't have gotten on the ladder. I bought by myself.
Yeah.
So you have more access to more capital if you're the two of you.
Yeah.
And the two of you are working.
Yeah.
That's definitely the case.
Yeah.
But the market's just changed so much since then.
That is true.
It's a different country now as well.
It's totally different. And as well, Dara is a sole trader. And
is he?
Yeah, he is.
So what's your takeout on that? What does he work at, do you mind me asking?
So he works in social media as well. And I remember we spoke to our accountant, and he was like, usually they'll look at a sole trader and the bank will laugh at you, but this is why you need to have everything in order.
Yeah.
So give them every excuse not to, refuse a mortgage application or anything like that. So I think by maybe that was a bit extreme, but saying that really
focused
us. So yeah, both of us are sole traders. Both of us have a similar kind of savings account going on where we can't touch it, and that seems to work for us. So
interestingly, people who are sole traders who work for themselves for all their lives have to be more organized.
Yeah.
There's nobody doing my PAYE at the end of the year. There's
That's
nobody
so
doing
true.
my VAT. I have to do it all.
Yeah.
So it actually, you do work that little bit harder. There are benefits to it, but I always say, I don't get holiday pay. I've never gotten holiday.
No, you almost have to think ahead. Like if you want to go on a holiday, you have to think, okay, how many jobs do I need to take on to make sure I can take that 2
Yeah,
week
so
break
when
off?
I would go on holiday with my now friend Adam, formerly boyfriend, but we're really good mates, all good.
Yeah.
We'll have 2 pina coladas by the pool, and I'd say, see that pina colada?
Yeah.
You're getting holiday pay. He said, yeah. So that pina colada is costing me 3 times what it's costing you.
Yeah.
Opportunity cost, actual cost, and the fact that I'm not working.
That's it,
Yeah.
literally, and the fact that you have to say no to jobs
Yeah,
when you're
to
away.
get- yeah.
100%. So you think
So actually,
about
sole
all that.
traders are much more reliable, if you don't mind me saying. Banks.
100%. I know, and we have everything in order. Like I think it makes you more organized, and I realized
Yeah, of
that
course.
when I became a full-blown sole trader only a few years ago, like I'd say I was used to being passive as an employee and letting everyone just, you get your tax paid for you, your USC, your PAYE, all of that stuff. So I think it just, I had a light bulb switch on, and I realized you can't be bad at money anymore. You just can't. It's not going to work well for you. And like, it's just a major red flag if you are as a sole trader. I'm like, it's not
gonna last.
It's not a lane you want to walk down.
No.
Yeah.
Do you keep a cash flow spreadsheet?
No.
I've just changed your life.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
I need
What's
to
in the
do
bank?
that. Okay.
What you're owed, what you have to pay. Well, I do what's in the bank, what I have to pay in the month,
Okay.
what I'm owed. Then you add those 3 and you say, okay, cash flow's okay.
Do you know what I kind of
Daily.
do? I need to do a daily cash flow.
I do a daily.
100%. I kind of do a monthly one on my
And
notes app.
but what I do on the cash flow is with the spreadsheet, particularly if I'm not educated, spreadsheets,
Yeah.
is that I put the date beside the direct debits.
Okay.
So I have an idea of when things are coming out. So if something big, like those, as a sole trader, those surprise preliminary tax.
Yeah.
What? Or
Yeah.
a VAT you didn't pay, or so you can miss things during
Yeah.
the year. So you get these surprise bills, I call them, and it's a really bad day when you get surprise bills.
I know.
And it's like a couple of grand or something.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god.
I know.
So you have to find where that money can come from,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not even, we're not even talking about buying Balenciaga boots.
No.
We're talking about fucking VAT bills. It's like
Literally.
sexy, yeah.
It's very sexy.
Yeah.
I do kind of keep a cash flow on a monthly basis, like in my head / in my notes app on my
Yeah.
phone. But I think I need to do spreadsheets. Like what I'll do,
a little
I'll be
one.
like, what are the big expenses? What
Yeah.
do I need to make sure like I've got money in the current account for?
Yeah.
And then what can I put into savings? And
Yeah.
then if there's anything spare, like can I invest now or anything like that? So yeah, like I think it helps with me making sure like I'm never missing out on a payment, because
Okay.
that's like when I spoke to the mortgage advisor, that was a major thing. Like you never want to have a payment that you've missed out on.
Yeah, never.
Because that's a red flag
Yeah.
for a bank, of course. So it's definitely helped with that.
So tell me this now. Wedding Lane is over here.
Yeah.
Going chugging along nicely. House Lane is ticking along. You have a line in the sand. Like you are organized for this, aren't you? You're
Yeah.
very organized.
Yeah, I've been forced to be organized.
Okay.
But I'm embracing it. Like I'm like one half of my brain is wedding brain and the other half is like
I get it, yeah.
mortgage
Totally
brain.
see it.
Yeah.
AIB's team of advisors are here to help you on your journey to get the keys to your own home. Click the link in the podcast notes to find out more. Wedding Lane here, chugging
Yeah.
along nicely.
Yeah.
Exciting. Have you got your dress?
Yes.
Oh!
Yeah. It was the second one I tried on.
No.
Yeah. I
Wow,
got my
that's
dress
the big
in.
job done.
I know, right? I expected myself to.
Now your mother's going to drive you mad.
I know. I thought we'd at least go to 10 shops, and like my best friend, who's my maid of honor, couldn't make it that day. And I was like, oh my God, don't worry. Like, we're going to go to at least 15. And then I go to one in Cavan, Virginia, Cavan, and I tried the most beautiful dresses on, and it was the second one I tried on. I'm like, that's the one. And I had my mom and my sister with me. They were about crying. And then when I texted my best friend, she was like, you must be the only person that goes in and buys the second dress that you tried on for your wedding. Like, what about me? So yeah, but I'm sure there's gonna be loads of fittings and extra seamstress appointments. It'll be fine. Yeah.
So you're very organized. I'm very impressed. Now, the only thing is, and I've been through many, many weddings over the years. It's the mother of the bride. And I always say this is my little rule. And you can say this out loud at Christmas. The rule is the mother of the groom cannot look better than the mother of the bride. It's just the rule.
Oh, is it that?
That's the rule.
Okay.
There's no hierarchy here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's just
So
it.
mother of the bride gets like
The best first
best
choice. Yeah,
hat
she can
and-
choose the colour
Okay.
first.
Is it true that the mother of the bride can also wear white?
She can, yeah. My mother wore white.
Okay. way.
Which wore off-white, but that's also because she was a narcissist. My mother changed 3 times at my sister's wedding.
Stop.
She came down in a flapper dress at one point and a fucking feather in her hair. We were like, oh my God, she's the
That'll
showgirl.
be my mum.
The showgirl.
Yeah, that'll be my mum. I remember we did the cover of VIP and like she was the queen bee.
Yeah.
It wasn't about me.
Yeah.
It was all about man. She had her hair snatched in a ponytail, like 20-inch long ponytail. Absolutely loving life. That's going to be her at my wedding day. 100%.
That'd be amazing. So now that's flying along and lots of joy and fun. The property journey is still ticking along to the other half of your brain. What's the dream?
The dream, well, I always say, because I definitely want to have a family one day, that I would love to live close enough to my parents. So my parents are in Dublin 15. So maybe around like there, like maybe Castleknock kind of area. I always think about, like, I'm an urban girl, you know, I don't really think about property by the sea or anything like that. For me, it's more so location. So a dream location would be like, I'd have close enough proximity to my family, 20-minute drive, 50-minute drive max. So somewhere like that. But then the dream.
Go on.
Oh my God, I drive by Aylesbury Road. My God.
Yeah.
If I won the lotto, that's where I live.
I actually drive. So myself and my best friend, that's on your way to your new job in RTE at weekends.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
On the radio. Brilliant.
Yeah. So a lot of daydreaming as I'm driving.
So Aylesbury Road. And the only thing is 2 things about that, right? And this is controversial. One is I met the man who invented cat's eyes on the motorway. You know those things when you drive down a motorway and in the middle of the road?
Yeah.
He invented them. He's a billionaire. He's Irish.
Wow.
He lived on Aylesbury Road and they were burgled constantly because you're targets.
Oh, stop.
So that was what put me off.
Yeah, you're not really in an estate.
No, well, you're obviously the rich people in the world, right? So you're targets. That's one that scares me. Second is more rooms, more hoovering.
That's true. But you'd have a cleaner, Brendan.
Oh, you would, yeah. And security. What am I talking about? Yeah, they're beautiful.
And cameras everywhere.
But Aylesbury Road, yeah.
To be honest, anywhere around that area is just beautiful. But also, my sister she's renting an apartment in Rathgar as well.
Gorgeous.
And anytime I'm driving up to Andrea's, I'm just like, the houses here are
who are these people?
Stunning. Who lives inside
I always
them?
want to knock on those houses, you know, with the 3 Christmas trees and go, who are you people?
Yeah, and like Halloween's obviously, it's over now, but like they really go all out and the pumpkins on their staircases are so inviting and I'm like, can I just knock on your door and be your friend?
Yeah.
The houses are stunning there.
Yeah.
So yeah, girl can dream.
But you're open-minded.
Very much so.
Are you aligned with Dara?
Yes.
On what you want, yeah.
Yeah, like I think it was probably me who was a bit more of like a dreamer and like, I want this and I want that and the interior has to look like this. He's just like, whatever makes you happy is fine. But now that we are on daft.ie looking at different pictures of houses and stuff, he's very much like, okay, I can see ourselves living in here. So we try to picture ourselves in different properties that are online and just try to visualize it, because I definitely think if you can visualize it a little bit, it helps with the process, because you can either decide to be optimistic about it or just be like in a mindset of like lacking and just thinking, oh, I'm never going to find
this is a
property.
really hokey pokey airy fairy thing to say,
right?
And this is advice.
Yeah.
So I was living in London in 2005 and I broke up with a partner. I'm friends with all my exes. I'm one of those people. And I was talking to him the other day, Wayne, really nice guy. And we separated and I found myself living in my friend's attic in West London. And my friend John, who's coming to visit tomorrow, still one of my best friends. But that wasn't sustainable, right? So I'm living in his attic. I'm walking to work. I was working on television. I was doing great. Everything was fine. But I needed to get a place and I was 33 or 2. And I thought, right, I'm going to buy a place. And I was walking by every day I had a little office I had a little production company. We were making TV shows, but I'd walk every day past this brand new build in Shepherd's Bush in White City. And I what's this? So I looked up one day and then I found out there was this shared ownership thing. This is the first house I ever bought by myself. And shared ownership is a thing they run. We have a similar kind of thing here in Ireland. You have to be of a certain earning bracket. You have to be a certain age. You have to be blah, blah, but there is shared ownership here. So people should look that up as well. I would walk by this apartment every day and I picked the apartment I wanted, right, in the block. And I'd say, my second floor there, so safe, blah, blah. And I would just visualize myself going in the door, unlocking the key, going in. Now, I'd broken up with somebody. I was renting. I had very little saved. And this is actually a really cute story. I visualized and then I thought, and I remember saying to myself, if this shit works, I'm going to do this for everything.
Yeah.
6 months later, I had the keys and I walked in and I owned it.
I love it.
And I can't even tell you how it happened.
That's manifesting.
Yeah.
Right there. And I know some people don't want to believe in it.
I still can't join the dots between that visualization and the keys.
But it's literally that. Like you were attracting that into your life.
Yeah.
I love that. I think.
Now I did everything like you're doing to put in place that to happen.
But I think that's what you do, because when you're more positive about it and you can visualize it, you then are just more productive and you do the bits. Like you're working towards it. So I think that's like, even though we're in like a climate where people can, can definitely feel a bit of despair around like the housing market, and it's disheartening. But if you switch your focus kind of like to what you did, it definitely helps you just put the little bits together and get everything in place that will eventually help out when you're ready to apply for that.
And I used to have this thing in my head, like do just one thing every day to push your journey slightly along. Yeah. Even if it's just checking your list. Yeah. Because actually, and this podcast came about because when I would do these first time buyers events, I would ask the panel at the end, what was your first time like? And one AIB mortgage advisor said to me, every mortgage is like a snowflake. It's all a bit different. The journeys, because I thought we were silos. We're TV presenters. They're bankers. You know, he's a producer. She said, no. Everyone's journey, because of what they have in the bank, what they have access to, where they're at. So everyone is completely different. And so when I would ask you on a panel and you would tell me your story, people just sat up because they wanted stories of hope. They wanted, am I ever going to get on? Yeah. And now I think, as you said, when you lock in, that's all you want. Yeah. I want my own home. Tunnel vision is the way to do it. And the other thing, I had a vision board actually, right? I had a vision board.
I love a vision board.
I love a vision board. And it was like a classic old school, like not online. Yeah. It was like
printed out your pictures.
Magazine tears.
Yeah.
And on the vision board, you're not going to believe this, was a window, 4 huge sliding doors looking at the sea. And that's what my house in Wicklow is.
Wow.
And only one day I was like, the vision board is up in the attic in my mum's. And I was like, my vision board. And then I was like, oh my God, that's Wicklow.
Yeah, that's insane.
Isn't that insane?
That's really inspiring, to be honest. Because I think, like, if you could really dream, you'd be able to, like, not only have, your first home, but then maybe eventually the dream home. So that is really inspiring when you say that. Because I think if you do visualize it, if you're a bit of like, I would call myself a bit of a dreamer like that as well, where I do get the Pinterest pictures and I print them out and I make a bit of a vision board like that. So to hear that it's actually worked for you, twice. I'm like,
oh, 100%. And the third time it's going to work is, so a woman crashed into my house. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I did.
Yeah. So it's fine. Oh. But as a result of that, I because I was standing in the doorway 20 minutes before she crashed, I would be dead, right? I'm not joking. Yeah. As a result of that, I had a bit of an epiphany. I've always wanted a swimming pool. And it's on my vision board. And guess what's going in 2 months' time?
A swimming pool.
A swimming pool.
I'm obsessed.
It's tiny, but it's mine.
You need to talk about that more.
Yeah.
Talk about that manifesting more.
Like it's a small little pool, but it's a pool that I can get into. Yeah. And I'll get into that pool and I'll go, this shit works.
You're like thinking it into existence.
It mightn't be heated.
I mean, I'll take it. It could be a cold plunge.
That's I think what it is. It might be a pond, but but it's my pond.
It's my pond. I love that.
So the future looking forward then, just keep saving. When will you re-engage with your mortgage advisor now? When will you go, okay, we think we might be nearly ready? Do you check in or?
Yeah. Like we only had a conversation about it about a week or two ago. So I think we'll check back in next year. Okay. Like probably middle of next year to be like, okay, are we ready to go? Like, what can we get in a few months' time? And then we'll just go for it.
So and I'm sure you know, like you can shop online, but you can't really go shopping until you know what you can spend.
Yeah, and I think
because you'll fall in love with something.
That's it, and I don't want to lose hope or anything like that. And I do think when you meet with a mortgage advisor in person, or even do like a Zoom call or something like that, it really makes a world of a difference. And you can ask all the silly, stupid questions that you think are stupid, but they're like, no, I'm glad you asked this. So I find every meeting with a mortgage advisor so beneficial, and like I do it again just for the chats.
Always a pleasure. You're an angel. I wish you the best. Enjoy the wedding, and then I can't wait to come to the housewarming.
Thank you. I had fun.
But wait, there's more. Each week on My First Home, AIB home advisors Anne-Marie Elliott and Marie Smith join us in the studio with expert advice on starting your home journey. Welcome to the podcast, Marie Smith. Here's what she had to say. Katja Mia Now, it's a little bit of a cheat in that she was a financial advisor before she was a presenter. She worked in finance.
Yeah.
But like, if somebody gets a gold star or a 10 out of 10 for being mortgage ready, now she hasn't actually bought yet, but her and her partner, they've just gotten engaged, and they are literally
on the ball.
They're so on the ball. And she's really, and you know what it is about her as well, which is interesting. She actually has a really good attitude to her. She's really into it.
Yeah.
So she likes the milestones. She likes hitting the milestones. So in fairness, she's kind of spun it into a really positive experience for herself. But building a savings record is one of the tools in the toolkit, isn't it? It's really important.
It's really important. And I suppose that's when you talk to your mortgage advisor at the start, when you think you're ready or you're on like a little bit of a nurture journey where you need to go to. We can discuss like...
Sorry, a nurture journey.
Nurture journey, that's what we like to call it. Yes. Put you on the right journey to path to get mortgage ready.
Nurture me. Yeah.
So obviously you might, like let's say in Dublin, you might be renting or wherever it is. So the rent covers half of your part of your proven repayment ability. So obviously...
So that's just really worth stressing. Your rent that you pay shows that you can repay.
Yeah, and it's huge.
It's really good.
Yeah. Then obviously you need your deposit. So like what I always say to people is reaching your goals. So we'll see what ideally how much of a mortgage you're looking for and how much that is. Okay, so we say maybe you need to save an extra €1,000 a month. But you know the thing is, I always say try and save like even 800 and leave it there in your account and not touch it. It's better to save the 8 and leave it untouched than putting in an extra amount that maybe leaves you stuck for the month and then you're taking it back out. And that's why I always think with those accounts, like if you're putting into an account where you can see it, it actually it gives you a little bit of a boost, you know, when you're like, I'm on the right track here, this is what it was 2 months ago, this is what it is this month. But that's really, really important to get it right with your savings, because then it just makes everything else when you come in for your approval moves so much quicker and so much easier. Also, a little tip I got over the years was save your money at the start of the month. Don't wait till the end of the month. Oh, 100%. Save it, get all your bills out of the way, put your money out, buy your little thing in Zara, whatever you need to do, get your coffees or your lunch. But put it out in front at the start of the month, so then you're not leaving yourself stuck and then you're like, I need this for X, Y, and Z, or any sort of, you know, those unsurprising things that come through at the month where you need your extra money for. Okay, brilliant. Yeah. Build your savings record and your rent does count. Your rent does count, yeah. Nice one. Check out the podcast notes to book an appointment with an AIB mortgage advisor. Thank you so much for listening to Brendan Courtney's My First Home with AIB. We'll be back next week with more unique and uplifting stories to inspire you on your journey to owning your first home. Bye for now. Allied Irish Bank PLC and AIB Mortgage Bank UC are regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.